Welcome to this week's episode of Tech Talk Live. I'm your host, Michael Armogan, and with us today we have our two guests, Chris and Vicky, or Viquel. So as per usual with Tech Talk, we're going to be going over the last week's worth of tech news and pretty much giving our own insights onto what's happened so far. And we're going to be starting this week off with let me pull this up really quick. We're going to start this week off with Essential. Essential, for those who are unaware, is a smartphone that is made by, well, the maker of Android, for the most part. And what's happened was that some suspicious email activity happened to people who pre-ordered the Essential phone. What has happened was that, let me see. The platform's creator said the company made an error in its customer care function, and it seems a customer service rep used a misconfigured account that sent a single email asking for a photo ID and other identifying info to multiple recipients. And as a result, 70 of them ended up sending sensitive information to a small group of other customers. Yikes. Now, of course, he apologized, and let me see, what exactly did he said? That they've taken steps internally to add safeguards against this happening again in the future. Being a founder in an intensely competitive business means you occasionally have to eat crow. It's humiliating, it doesn't taste good, and often it's a humbling experience. As Essential's founder and CEO, I'm personally responsible for this error, and I will try my best not to repeat it. End quote.
Sorry, it should have products on that they're linked together. Sorry about that.
Nice.
Continue.
Stop it, Chris. You're making me laugh now.
That's face love.
But right, with all of that happening, like, I kind of feel bad for Essential because they're starting to like get up off the ground, trying to make this their very first phone. And I mean, granted, there's already been people saying, you know, the camera on it sucks, which kind of isn't a good thing for something that's just coming out of the woodworks. And then they have this privacy thing, which, you know, that's a serious no-no. I don't know, like, is this the precursor to other things? What do you guys think?
Sorry. Well, for me, I personally feel as though I do feel bad for them as well. Because so far for like the tech videos that I've seen about the Essential, like, they've been given the Essential phone hell all week. And for them to have this whole privacy issue, it's kind of like they're not able to get off of the ground when they're coming and attempting to try and make a change, whereas they just keep getting pushed back. So first it was the whole camera. The camera is crap. The screen brightness is also crap. And then now it's the whole privacy thing, whereas in this day and age, privacy is a major thing for consumers.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know how dead they are. I don't think the privacy leak is going to be that big of an issue, to be honest. In terms of the camera and the screen, I just think they missed the ball. I don't think it's like an end for the series, but I mean, for them to have come out with a phone and for them to knock it out of the park in their first go, I've been highly impressed. They didn't, and it's to be expected. And honestly, they actually hit a lot. They actually got a lot right for being the first phone that I ever made. Like, they actually got a lot right for it. So they just miss some key points, the camera, and I mean, just key things that I think people care for. And I mean, it'll be good to see their next round of phones, but I mean, once they get decent amount of sales, which they probably will, they'll have enough, I guess, to keep going on. Is it going to be like a hit? Nah, it's not going to be the best Android phone of the year by far. But yeah, I think it's a decent launch for them. They have their problems, but they're not going to be perfect. So
honestly, I really hope that it, and it doesn't sound like it will, but I really do hope that they don't let it hold them back from continuing along with this. Like, the only phone that kind of made as much stir in the market coming out of the woodworks was, I think it was the Robin something. But yeah, that phone pretty much ended up like hardly anyone bought it after the Kickstarter and everything like that. So I'm really hoping they continue on and make something better down the line. Continuing on with phones though, we got a pretty decent reveal this past week with the LG V30. The design itself is pretty neat. They were saying that it's a beautiful phone. Some people were saying that it came a little bit too late in the year to really compete with other smartphones like the iPhone 8 and the Galaxy Note 8. But I don't know. I kind of have a feeling it will get some people buying from it. It's one of the only phones, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, that actually supports T-Mobile's new frequency. So that in itself makes them viable to be purchased. And even the battery life is much better than I think people were expecting. With it screen time of 4 hours, and like by 11 a.m. one person was saying that it was still at 15%. 11 p.m. that day it was still around 15% battery life. And we know typically 6 o'clock you sometimes have to plug in.
6 o'clock. I had to plug my phone at like maybe 12. Oh my gosh.
this is an iPhone.
Hey man, it is, yeah. And then my parents keep calling me. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, like for me, I'd have to like plug my phone in like maybe around 12, 1 o'clock if I charge it fully during the morning. But I have that issue where I would plug my phone in the night, and then when I get up, I unplug it. So that's why it's never at 100.
No. E30 is actually pretty freaking amazing. Like I won't lie, like I think people are downplaying this phone because people are saying like, oh, it won't be able to compete with the iPhone 8 or like the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. No, of course it will, because honestly, right now the V30 is hands down the best Android phone you can get. Period. And the only thing that's will slow down the sales is people waiting for the Pixel 2, and it's gonna boil down to whether or not the Pixel XL2 has a headphone jack or not. If the Pixel XL2 does not have a headphone jack, I can guarantee you'll see a spike in sales in the V30, because there are a bunch of people who are saying that if the Pixel XL2 does not have a headphone jack, that they are going to buy the V30. Like there are literally a bunch of people who are literally waiting for that confirmation. And if the XL2 has a headphone jack, then I think that's going to hurt the V30 sales, because I don't think that it can compete against the XL2. But if the XL2 shoots himself in the foot and say, oh, well, we're not going to have a headphone jack, well, then guess what? It's time for the V30 to come in and sweep and save today. I think the V30 will get the best phone of the year if that happens. I think hands down it'll be a competitor, a strong competitor in that. Best phone of the year. The problem with the Note 8, I don't think it's going to get best phone of the year. It's too expensive. It's way too fucking expensive. So
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest problem with it. So whereas the V30 isn't. The V30 falls right in a nice, very nice price range. So I think is it cheaper than the S8? I can't remember the prices, but I think it's a little bit cheaper than the S8, or around the S8 price. So
Yeah, it's around the essay from what I remember. So I do agree with that. And a lot of people are saying how nice the camera is on this one compared to other things that are coming out this year as well.
The camera app is crazy. Oh my goodness, that camera app is nice. Like, can I just download the camera app? Because that's amazing. That is like amazing. Whew.
Like they compared it to normal filter. Like, okay, so one of the key features about this device, for those who are unaware, is that it has presets for both pictures and videos, and these presets are made by persons that actually do videography and photography. So these are the people that you typically want like to emulate with your own pictures. Now, with their presets, it isn't just like a regular filter. It is quite literally adjusting contrast, white balance, brightness, how the HDR works, a bunch of different things all at the same time, instead of just saying, oh, we're just going to make this look slightly more blue.
Yeah.
And honestly, from what I've seen, it looks gorgeous. So I kind of have to agree with Chris. Like, I would wonder if the reason why the Pixel 2 doesn't have it is just to kind of see what people go for. But that still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But moving on to our next topic, and one that's of quite a bit of concern. The FDA in the United States has recalled close to 500,000 pacemakers due to hacking fares. No, that's not FARES, that's FEARS. Pretty much security concerns over connected health devices are once again put on the spotlight because apparently your heart can be hacked. And the total amount was actually 465,000 of the medical devices were recalled citing security vulnerabilities. They come from a health company called Abbott, formerly St. Jude Medical, and they require a firmware update. Fortunately, it can be installed by a healthcare provider in just 3 minutes. And the models affected include Accent, Anthem, Accent, MRI, Accent ST, Assurity, and Allure. Apparently someone reverse engineered a pacemaker to release a series of 830 volt shocks. So I guess they want to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen to their patients. But that's pretty scary when you really think about it. Like, that's something on your heart.
Electronic death mode.
Yeah. Someone just walks by you and can kill you by sending like electric shocks to your heart.
I'm gonna charge you for murdering someone.
That's scary. Holy crap.
I mean, you're in a pacemaker, so you're already avoiding death. Like, I mean, all I have to do is malfunction and you can die. So.
But how often do they malfunction though?
I don't know. I don't have one.
Yeah, I don't have one either. It's not like so shallow right now.
How is that shallow? I legit don't like.
No, you don't have any, so sad for those who have pacemakers.
Like, I mean, you go past a really large magnet, you fucked. Imagine.
Ew.
Kind of screwed.
He kind of does have a point. Like, I don't think they can actually go through those full body scanners at the airport.
Airport, I was thinking that as well.
And it's like, I mean, I don't know, because how do you know where magnets are? Like, you just don't know where there's going to be like a strong electromagnet.
Well, I mean, in the real world, how often do you come across a magnet?
We don't know. Because it doesn't affect us.
But I mean, we typically have like our phones or something on us that, you know, if it's strong enough, it should pull on it.
So, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess. Maybe.
You're gonna like if you, before you walk through like by a magnet, you, like stick your phone out to make sure that it's not a strong magnet.
I guess.
Like that's what
And then
he's
if it
like.
sucks
saying,
your
like,
phone and like you have like
yeah,
a really
sucks
strong
your
grip on your
phone.
phone, you go flying with it, and then it's your pacemaker,
Yeah.
and that won't help.
I don't know. I still feel that like this is kind of the stuff that sci-fi horrors were made of from back in the day.
Yeah.
A good sci-fi horror.
Did you just say this would have been a good sci-fi horror?
I like a good sci-fi horror.
It would have been a better movie than Death Note 2 in 2017.
Do you?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Don't.
Was it that bad?
It's worse.
Moving on to our next topic. Google is the overarching topic, and we're going to start off with Assistant. Now, apparently you can now tell Google Assistant to take a screenshot. But I mean, I probably would still see myself taking a screenshot by using the actual buttons or whatnot to just make sure it happens instead of, you know, it doing something else or not picking up on me saying, okay, Google, something along those lines.
Just
I
making
just
people
want them to change the name. That's it. That's all I'm waiting for.
change the names. What?
I don't know. There's something more personable instead of OK Google.
Jarvis.
What's okay, Google? Kind of cocky. What? Travis?
Jarvis.
Travis. Oh, Travis.
Jarvis.
Oh, okay, Travis. Oh,
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Mm.
That
Then
was,
he has to have a female voice, so it has to be like a female name.
Exactly.
They can,
Because
like,
Oreo is a
female
woman,
voice.
so how about whatever the name is? So if it's Oreo, you say Oreo. Hey, Oreo. But then, I mean, Oreo is like an everyday product, so I mean, like, people be talking like, oh, hey, Oreo, and then
Yeah.
your phone is like, oh, hi. It's like, no, I didn't call you. I was talking about the cookie.
and then like
So that's a problem.
you get accustomed to Oreo, and then like
When the new firmware comes out, it's like, oh, you know, I gotta go change the name now.
yeah,
Like,
like,
oh, hey, when the firmware is.
hey pumpkin pie, how you doing today? It's like
Yeah, that's
I
a
gotta get
mouthful.
used to that.
Yeah.
You already invest enough time inside this gal.
I don't. Pumpkin pie is not gonna happen. Don't stop trying.
Watch.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
What else do you see it being? Seriously.
It's not gonna be pumpkin pie. I can tell you that. It could be pie by itself before it'll be pumpkin pie.
No.
Oh, I like that. That's specific. Yeah, like pumpkin pie. It sounds better.
See?
They're not gonna. There's not gonna do pumpkin pie. They're not. Gonna do pumpkin pie. They're not.
Oh, it'll be called pizza.
Pizza isn't a sweet.
Well, I'm trying. You knocking down pumpkin pie, and like that's the one that comes to
Yeah.
people's mind.
Yeah. No, it's not gonna be pumpkin pie.
With
It'll be pumpkin spice latte before it'll be pumpkin pie. No,
You know?
don't make that face. No.
that actually
No,
might be.
No, no,
that-
we're not doing that. We're not doing
there's
that.
a lot of
We're
people
not.
that like pumpkin spice.
We're not doing that.
People might
not
actually
doing
like suggest that. You know, Google
No.
always does like the let us know what kind of thing you want it to be. Watch that
It'll
actually.
be peppermint.
Mm.
Watch. It'll be peppermint. Watch. It'll be peppermint and it'll be green, just like Oreo. I don't know why Oreo has like black. Why is Oreo green? I just realized that. Why? But it'd be peppermint.
Peppermint's
Oreo's
green.
green. Peppermint is green.
Peppermint is, well, the plant is green, but I mean, when you think of peppermint, you think of the peppermint candy canes, which are like red and white.
Exactly. Wait, no, what? There's also green. There's also peppermint gum. There's all type of peppermint sweets.
Vicky, when you see peppermint candy canes, what colors are they typically?
Red and white.
Doesn't
Bam!
matter. We're talking about the name. Name is peppermint. Oh man. It can be red or white. It doesn't matter. Point is, peppermint.
Either
is
way,
quality name.
Android's color is green, so
Very
they're
so.
always gonna like because like people already see that color already associated with Android, so it's gonna be like, oh, you know,
Oreo's
green.
black though, so
Kit Kat was red and
Exactly.
brown.
exactly. So it could
So-
be peppermint.
Pumpkin spice.
No, it will not be pumpkin spice. Definitely not.
Green and orange with the cute.
Yes, exactly. See?
No.
Like I'm already picturing them having like a pumpkin body on like the android hair.
Oh,
Yep. Perfect in time for Halloween.
it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be pumpkin spirit.
Uh-huh.
Or it's not gonna be anything pumpkin.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You sound like a hater.
It sounds like you just... Chris, do you not like pumpkin?
Pumpkin is disgusting.
That's it right there,
Why?
people. That is the exact reason why right there.
Oh, you know what it could be? Oh, this is perfect. Popsicle. Eat that. Popsicle. Android popsicle. Way better than pumpkin.
Did you just try to put in a pun inside there? Eat that popsicle?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't see it as much. I don't.
Me either. Like I'm trying to picture how they're gonna incorporate it with the android. Like how they did with Oreo, what they did with the Oreo was like the body.
They could do a popsicle. The Android shape is already almost a popsicle. Just put a stick.
Yeah, then he has to have like that little
Exactly. Put a stick up where? Put a stick up where? Exactly.
Just put the feet together and like tie them up, and there you go. It's a popsicle. And like tie the arms together too. Popsicle. Android popsicle.
Pringles? Pringles. Maybe Pringles.
It's chip. It's not a sweet.
That's something that's sweet. That's a chip. It's like a snack.
Yeah.
Everything is sweet. Everything has been sweet. Everything has been sweet. Everything has had a high sugar content. Not one thing that they've done has not had high sugar content. All of them has either been desserts or candy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my biggest thing. I mean, I think a merging of Bixby and Google Assistant would be the best. Because Bixby, the things you can do with your phone, like you can tell it to do anything with your phone, and it'll do it. Don't ask search for anything, it can't, but it can control the phone really, really well. That's one good thing about Bixby. The horrible thing about Bixby is the Bixby button. If they can get rid of that, then Bixby would actually be a lot better, in my opinion.
Yeah, that requires Samsung and Google actually getting nice and playing together with artificial intelligence. But moving on to our next topic. Apparently, YouTube, the place that you typically go for web content about videos and listening to sometimes listening to music, has also been a place where people go to rip audio for their MP3s and sometimes podcasts or whatnot. One such website that does that for persons has now been shut down because they were sued by the RIAA and music label companies.
Well,
So, yeah, apparently they might start cracking down on that kind of stuff. So,
Oh man.
who knows? Tubity might be next.
I mean, torrents forever. I mean, don't illegally download music.
Some things you can't find with torrents.
You're not looking hard enough. I mean, yeah,
Sure.
you could not be looking on torrent sites. That's horrible. That's a bad idea. Oh man.
I'd be looking hard. Like I go from torrents, and if I don't find them on torrents, I'd be like, you know what? Let me just check SoundCloud. If you're on SoundCloud, then I just like go to YouTube, and I actually use that same site that they shut down to download some. But I have a
I mean, they shut down one, another one is gonna pop up. There are like millions of them out there,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter. Like
I have
they can do
some.
whatever they want.
so I'm always good with sites.
Torrents are quite literally the hydra of the internet. Well, torrent sites, I should say. You cut one, two's gonna pop back up. Like that's the whole premise behind like every time they try to take down the Pirate Bay.
I don't know. I don't think I recovered from since they removed Kick-Ass torrent. I felt like that was my torrent place. Like that was sacred. But I just have to like be satisfied with using Pirate Bay.
Be like the rest of us. Now, one thing I did notice, and I'm segueing here, is that the Nexus 6P is going to be getting Oreo one day before Apple's keynote on the 12th.
So sad. That's so unfortunate for those 6P users.
Like, I mean, granted, all they have to do is sign up for the beta, and they quite literally will get the released version of it. But it seems kind of odd, you know, one day right before it.
No, why is that all?
Huh?
I mean, the 6P really isn't a driver. I mean, all the devices that are important already have an Oreo, so.
Gee, Michael, don't you want a sexy?
I am, but
All the important devices already have Oreo, so we're good. Doesn't
When you
matter
want-
when they release it.
When you want a pixel, you can speak like this thing.
Yeah, I just got it today. I'm so happy.
I would like to show you guys something. Let me make sure I'm actually. So, come on,
I can't see that.
hold on.
Oh man, try so hard. Try so hard. You can't see that.
Bam! Android version 8.0.
Okay,
Oreo.
good for you. But for everyone else, it's not getting until what, a day before the Apple keynote?
Okay, yeah,
The average user? Yeah, okay. So, like I said, all the important devices already have it. Your device has it, right? So,
No
which is-
love.
you can't-
no love, no chill either. But
all the important devices have Oreo. They got that air. They got that air update. Oh man.
and since we're talking about Pixel 2, apparently the Pixel 2 is also going to be getting the, at least so some reports are saying, the exact same processor that almost every other flagship is going to be using this year inside the device. So
Okay.
it's nothing all that, it's nothing groundbreaking.
Not really.
Now, one thing that's definitely been happening this week, and I think we kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but hacking has been kind of rampant. Like, WikiLeaks was hacked, and
Yeah,
I mean, it seems kind of ironic when you really think about it with them.
it is actually.
It says, "Hi, our mine security group." Sorry, "Hi, it's our mine," which is in brackets security group. "Don't worry, we're just testing your blah blah blah." "Oh wait, this is not a security test." "WikiLeaks, remember when you challenged us to hack you?" "Anonymous, remember when you tried to dox us with fake information for attacking WikiLeaks?" The message continues, "There we go, one group beat you all. The WikiLeaks hack, let's get it trending on Twitter." And when that article was written, WikiLeaks was remaining offline. And the group behind it, Armogan, is saying that it's responsible for some other big hacks over the last several years, including the Twitter account of CEO Jack Dorsey and Google CEO Sundar Pichai's Quora page, and that they're also responsible for the hacks of websites Variety and BuzzFeed, as well as social media accounts of HBO. If true, they've been kind of busy, but WikiLeaks is kind of a gray area when it comes to stuff. Like, some people actually use that information.
I mean, it's kind of ironic because WikiLeaks, you know, is a whistleblower site, so this is kind of fun.
It is.
Like, I don't feel bad for them. It's whatever.
Ew.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Release the information that WikiLeaks was planning to release? Oh, okay. I mean, what are you gaining from this hack? Like, you're not gaining anything, really.
Just to prove
It's just
just
bragging.
that they won the That's
So-
talking about this in a condensed version. Like, yeah, just bragging rights.
The next place that seemingly had an issue was Apple, actually. And it was over with their developer center. Now, apparently the downtime, maybe they were saying it may be due to recently discovered vulnerability, and that it's been unavailable for the past few hours, when the article was written at least, without explanation. It's not uncommon to see the site go down for a few hours in our announcement events, but today's reason might be more ominous. And multiple developers across Twitter are postulating the downtime may be due to a hack. Now, another article was also saying that developer accounts briefly showed Russia addresses due to an Apple bug, which might be the reason for the downtime. So, might be a hack, might be a bug. It seems kind of weird regardless, and with everything that's been in the news about Russia recently, it seems really weird.
I mean, I think people, I don't know, people like to talk about Russia this, Russia that. Russia's becoming like another red herring, in my opinion. People just call it Russia. Or just point the finger at Russia.
You might be right. Typically it's China or Russia. But you're definitely hearing Russia more and more in the news now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, segueing into another one. Apparently hackers can take control of Siri and Alexa by whispering to them using frequencies humans can't hear. And this was done by Chinese researchers. Aha. Chinese again. That have... Huh?
I was just supposed to say they're always doing something.
They discovered a vulnerability in voice assistants from Apple, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Samsung, and Huawei. And it affects every iPhone and MacBook running Siri, any Galaxy device, and any PC running Windows 10, and even Amazon's Alexa assistant. An excerpt from the report itself says, using a technique called Dolphin Attack, a team from the Zhejiang University.
That is the worst name to have. Dolphins are vicious, yo. I'd be terrified of that.
Whoa.
Dolphins are vicious.
Yeah.
Someone just... Oh, thank you for hosting Hosted Radio. Right, so a team from Zhejiang University translated typical voice commands into ultrasonic frequencies that are too high for the human ear to hear, but perfectly decipherable by their microphones and software powering our always-on voice assistants. You know, kind of like how those ghost TV shows will always try to say, oh, well, these devices can record the things that we can't hear, and so we can hear ghosts and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
The relatively simple translation process lets them take control of gadgets with just a few words uttered in frequencies none of us can hear. They kind of already said that. The researchers didn't just activate basic commands like Hey Siri or OK Google, though. They could also tell an iPhone to call such and such number, or tell an iPad to FaceTime the number. They could then force a MacBook or a Nexus 7 to open a malicious website. And they can also order an Amazon Echo to open the back door. Apparently, even an Audi Q3 could have its navigation system redirected to a new location. Okay, that's pretty scary when you really think about that. Those last two right there.
Yeah, they're gonna pass it.
Just get a Tesla, man.
What if it happens with the Tesla as well?
Approve.
Huh?
I said approve.
I didn't think Tesla wasn't on the list, right? Just said
Is
Audi,
it
right?
Audi or is it Audi?
Audi. Audi?
Thing. I don't know. My dad says Audi. And like I've seen the commercial says Audi, but then I've also heard other people said Audi.
What the commercial says?
Yeah.
The commercial says Audi, then it's Audi.
Yeah. Audi. Howdy, Audi. Bad.
Very.
But apparently... they were saying that inaudible voice commands question the common design assumption that adversaries may, at most, try to manipulate a voice assistant vocally and can be directed by an alert user. Sorry, be detected by an alert user. The research team writes in a paper just accepting the blah, 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 blah. Either way, though, maybe this is the reason why smart technology might not be the best thing for a lot of people.
Whoa. Whoa. What was that?
That was Vicky's.
I know.
Yeah.
What was that for? What
That
is
one
that
touched
for?
my spine just now.
Oh, okay.
That one
Yeah.
touched your
Would you
spine. Just now?
continue? Yeah. Would you continue? I'm listening.
No, I'd like to know your thoughts right now.
I just feel as though, technology is going so like far off the rails. Like I feel they need to, take it slow and bring it down a notch. Just a tad bit.
Nah,
But-
we gotta keep going until we get AI, until they take over the world, and then
Like-
humans go think. So you just gotta keep going forward, man. Can't stop.
Can't stop the beast, right?
Can't stop the beast. Too late.
Tell
Already
them
on the
these
path.
true.
Listen.
Like I
see,
already
It's
feel
not
it.
an uphill, It's not uphill battle. We're going downhill, fast. You can't stop. You ever try to stop rolling downhill?
Yes,
right.
actually, I
If you're in
have.
the car.
Yeah, and then your car flips over. Then brakes don't help you no more.
But yeah. So that I don't know. I feel very odd about that and very.
I mean, the fact that we can see it now, this is gonna get patched out. That's what's
Yeah. They're
gonna
gonna
get patched
patch it.
out. It's gonna get fixed. So, I mean, that's the whole point of stuff like that, to figure out vulnerabilities. When you find out the vulnerabilities, you patch it, you fix it. So,
I guess. Now, Facebook, which we're going to be talking about now. Oh, a mixture of Facebook and Instagram. Apparently, Instagram is going to be bringing stories to the web version of Instagram. And they're also going to be making weather-inspired face filters. So, yeah, you're going to have like a little sun somewhere there that you can play around with. And it's going to like have light coming down on you. So on and so forth, as well as being able to go on Instagram.com and I guess playing around with, watching people's stories. I don't see the stories one really being used all that much, personally.
I feel like it's going to like they're going to like they brought it to WhatsApp desktop, so they're going to now implement it to the other apps. So yeah, the other apps. It's like seeing it. I'm so tired of these stories. Like I won't even lie. I'm tired of all the filters. I'm tired of like every app has a story now. It's just like, okay, like, what's new? Like I've seen y'all copy Snapchat's feature. And I'll just keep like, adding y'all own like fizzle to it. And I'm just there like, okay, what's new? Like I'm tired of seeing the same thing over and over for like the past couple of months now.
I kind of agree with you, which is going to make the next story actually even worse. Apparently, Facebook is going to be integrating Instagram stories into Facebook stories. Because, Facebook stories was pretty much a ghost town.
Yep. I've had a few people use it, surprisingly. Like, I think their Messenger days, I feel like that one's more of a ghost town than their Facebook story. But, like, I've seen a few people use Facebook stories, so I can see them trying to implement Instagram with the Facebook to make it seem as though they're getting, like, more, more like track records like running through on Facebook, because it's going to put the like people not using Facebook stories to use, where you can now merge the two.
I don't know. I think it's... They need to start cutting back on this whole story thing.
I agree, and the filters.
Chris, you have any thoughts about it?
I mean, it's fair to say people love it. So, as long as people keep using it, people can keep. They're gonna keep pushing it.
Look, I'm trying to figure out people aren't getting tired of this. Like I got tired of Snapchat within like maybe the first year having it.
That's nice. People like people to give them attention. People like to. It's all about them likes, man. You gotta chase them likes. Got any more than likes?
Gotta get those follows. Now apparently with Facebook, moving on to our next topic, by the way. Apparently it's easier to creep on mutual friends. Now,
You smell too wide, babe.
me,
No, 'cause I have a friend that like she's like on Facebook FBI. Like, I don't know how she's dating on people's stuff. Like she's fine anything.
Friend.
apparently, Apparently, the feature appears in a small box underneath a friend list on the desktop version of Facebook, along with a prompt to see what you have in common with them. What you have in common with that individual's friends. So, for example, let's say, see what you have in common with Brett's friends. After you click the view button, it opens a full screen window where you can flip through that person's friend list, and as you flip through, it shows some basic profile information and highlights details that you may have in common with said friends. Mutual friends, hometown, employers, current city were just some of the things that show up in things in common. And it also surfaced pages that people both liked. Now, it's apparently not clear how Facebook ranks said friends and which ones you see first in the view. This particular author said that the first few profiles he saw were people with whom he had another mutual friends besides Brett, but who he doesn't actually know. Then, perhaps not surprisingly, he started to see people related to his work. And then showed him profiles of people who he's connected to on Facebook, so it didn't really discriminate whether or not they were already connected. Seems kind of productive for something like this. All in all, though, that why?
I don't know. I thought they have to feed the creeping people. Like, if it makes sense.
They're just doing new things. Y'all actually new things. This is new.
Yeah, but I want to do things that's gonna benefit me.
Okay, well, more stories then.
Really, Chris?
You're gonna be able to send stories from your fridge. That's all.
I mean, and then like for us, we're probably gonna be like the last set of people to get this update.
Like,
so
when you
like,
take stuff out of your fridge, what it's gonna do is gonna automatically see what you took out, and then it's gonna automatically send a story to say, "Oh, so and so is cooking this."
no, I don't want that. That's kind of like tracking my.
Well then, easier mutual friends.
At least the story that I actually saw just like shortly before the show, so it kind of does. I was gonna leave it for next week's episode, but apparently Facebook is going to be also having some Tinder-like feature where you can swipe or like say yes or no, or sorry, no thanks, to agree to meet up with certain friends. And if you both say yes, then you both like get the message saying this person's willing to hang out with you or something like that. Sounds kind of sad when you really think about it.
Just a tad bit.
Well, y'all like some new things. That's not stories. So, this is what we're getting.
Really run out of ideas.
Huh?
I mean,
It's like right there, they're like running out of things to add to the app. So it's like, oh, let's go look and see what this one have and see how we're gonna make our own. Like put our own spin to it and see how we're gonna make it better.
You don't need everything in an app like that.
Yeah.
At some point, the app becomes bloated.
Unless it's a streaming service, then I need everything in an app. Like that whole Netflix and Disney thing, I don't need that. I need them to be together.
Oh my gosh. That's actually another interesting topic. Yeah, because I know I'm not buying that Disney subscription just to watch Daredevil and Defenders and whatnot, or Star Wars. No. Sorry. But continuing on, Instagram has apparently also been hacked. Apparently the tip of the iceberg was that Selena Gomez, her account was compromised by hackers who posted nude photos of her ex-boyfriend Justin Bieber on her feed. The account, of course, was then taken down. The photos were deleted, and Gomez got control of her account again. Hackers, right? But apparently the hack was the tip of the iceberg, and that 2 days later after that, The Verge reported that a bug had been discovered which allowed hackers to access phone numbers and email addresses of Instagram users. Instagram itself published a note on the website saying that a bug had been fixed and that only a low percentage of Instagram accounts had been affected. A report from the Daily Beast, interesting name, suggests otherwise. Apparently, before the bug was fixed, a group of hackers stole reportedly a massive amount of data, which they then used to launch a searchable database of Instagram users called a doxogram. Very unique name, guys. Creative. One of the hackers got in touch with the Daily Beast to show the publication a sample of the data it had collected. Cocky bastards. The list it provided allegedly featured the email addresses and phone numbers of 1,000 Instagram accounts, many of which belong to high-profile celebrities and politicians, and several of which the Daily Beast was able to verify. The hackers say that the scraper they set up to exploit the bug initially targeted only one Instagram user with over 1 million followers, but eventually moved on to other users. The doxogram went offline as of last Friday, but apparently a Twitter account which might be a legitimate source. The site appears to have just been restored Monday, and the hackers are charging $10 per search for people's information. So now they're also profiting from it. After that, though, there was another article that said a low percentage of 70 million accounts, the current number of monthly active users on Instagram, might have actually been part of that. So they said, after additional analysis, we have determined that the issue potentially impacted some verified accounts as well. Though we cannot determine which specific accounts may have been impacted, we believe it was a low percentage of Instagram accounts. Out of an abundance of caution, we encourage you to be vigilant about your security accounts. Blah, 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 blah. In other words, this hack didn't just affect high-profile users, as the company initially said, and that any one of us could have been affected. So you may want to change your passwords.
Yep.
It sounds more and more like places like Instagram aren't really the place that you want to be anymore. Like with all these different hacks happening.
I barely use my account, so that's another thing I think I'm pretty much good on.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you use. People are gonna hack stuff, so I mean, it doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
It just matters if you're the unlucky person that they end up hacking and your information
you
comes
just
out.
have to be. You just have to be cognizant. Regardless of whatever you use, first of all, if your account gets hacked, it's not because they hacked Instagram. It's because they hacked your account. Like your password is bad, so that's on you. Or you use some type of simple password for your secret question or something like that. Like that's why you got hacked. It's not because they did some super secret thing and they were like running code and this and that. Like no, they didn't. They just guessed your password. That's exactly what they did. So it's literally your fault. I mean, you can't blame Instagram for that. So I mean,
well,
I don't know.
The bug is because of an issue with Instagram that they were able to get access to all that information. Though.
Well, two different things. There's two different hacks. It's one, Selena Gomez's account being hacked. I hate that they need to separate these two words because they're two totally different things that happened.
Yeah.
Someone guessed her password and they got into her account. That's what happened. And they're calling that a hack. And then what they're also calling a hack, which is legitimately a hack, is where these people installed a script or bug inside Instagram's database and they're pretty much some code to allow them to pull information whenever they want. That's a legitimate hack. Now, those two things are completely different. The information they're pulling, from what I understand, they can't pull passwords. They can pull your information, but then again, all you have to do is go on your account. And I mean, most of the information is readily available on your account anyway for anyone to go and look at. So big what? That's all I'm saying. It's just a matter of being careful what you put out there. That's pretty much it. And understanding that you're putting your information and your data on other people's servers, and if anything happens to their servers, then your information is liable to get taken. That's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I won't say that. Oh, maybe you should stop using them. Like, no, just be smarter with how you use it. Just be smarter online. Just be
Like
smarter.
them persons who put like their whole life story on Facebook, it's not needed.
Yeah. We got two more stories for Facebook. One is that they have a new like button, which most people would have probably already seen by now, and it kind of looks like a really weird thumb. Like I kind of preferred the other one. I don't know if that's just
No,
me.
I think that's cool.
It's a button.
It doesn't look so blocky like
Who
it
cares?
looks,
It's a button. Who cares?
but it's a cute button.
It looks like a fat hand.
Yeah, like
Is
it
it button?
curves, so like it makes like this C shape
It's a button. Who
instead
cares?
of being so blocky.
You know what it does, right? You're still gonna click it to say like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Mike is the one who has an issue with it. I'm pretty much good with it.
It's just a button. Who cares? You change the button. Okay.
Facebook,
Yeah.
Facebook is known for like the like button.
So it's still a like button. They haven't removed it. It's still the same button. It just looks a little different. Okay, great.
And apparently, some Instagram employees were selling Instagram verification for several $1,000s.
Anyway,
So that's really unethical. But
money out to make.
gotta get that hustle.
Yeah, I mean, if people want to be verified that much, then if they stupid enough to buy like a verification account for me, then sure.
It'd be interesting if the persons who actually did that, though, after this was found out, then got their
They got
information.
fired? Oh,
Well, I mean, the persons who did it got fired, and the persons whose account were verified got unverified.
yeah, they'd waste their money.
Pretty much. Like, I think that's something that should, I think that's just, in a sense. But, moving on from that, we're going to talk about Nintendo now. Now, Nintendo apparently lost a patent battle that it's had going on for a little bit of time now. And they now have to pay a particular company $10 million. The company, of course, would be iLife, which sued Nintendo back in 2013 after filing lawsuits against 4 other companies in 2012. Pretty much they were saying that Nintendo infringed upon their patent, which was first filed in 1999, which describes systems and method for evaluating movement of a body relative to an environment. Quite honestly, I hate patents like this. Ones that kind of like are things that just should be able to be happening. So essentially this is saying that, you know, anything that guesses how you move is going to infringe on their patent. So that means what? Kinect is next?
I want to remember PlayStation Move. That's what it was, right? PS Move.
Something like that. What about like the smart TVs that can tell like your gestures and like what to do and whatnot? Like, it's annoying. But apparently the patent drawings show body-mounted motion detectors that could detect falls in the elderly, which in the market that iLife was targeting, that is the audience that they were targeting. Which makes it like, so why are you going after Nintendo?
They got the money.
The 10.1 million was less than 10% of what iLife's attorneys were asking for. Seriously? They asked the jury for $144 million. Wow.
At this point, I feel like they're suing just because it's a big company and they're going to get the money. Like how last week on the show where you spoken about the guy whose parents were trying to sue Apple because the person that hit I think it was their sons, was using an iPhone.
Yep.
That's not like, yeah, like that's not kind of logical. Like you can't expect them to just give you the money because the person was using an iPhone.
I don't know. This faith in humanity is slowly going down.
Slowly.
And also one of our beloved characters, Mario, has been displaced. He's no longer a plumber. Originally he was a carpenter, apparently. Back when he first came out and he was jumping over barrels. Apparently that was a construction site.
Oh, interesting.
And when he came to having to go down pipes, he became a plumber. And I guess since the newer versions don't necessarily use pipes anymore, he's no longer a plumber, but they're not quite saying what he is. But it sounds more and more... You're still going on with this theory.
This theory is the best theory, and it solves everything. It makes sense. It makes the most sense. Oh, the theory is, by the way, that Mario and the gang, for those who don't know, Mario and the gang are all actors, and every game that they come out with is a stage play, and that's why a lot of the games have like stages and like the curtain. They look like stages when you character select. They have even like the curtain graphics and stuff like that. So it's just these crew of people who are playing just different roles in these different games. That's why in some games, even people like Bowser or Wario are on teams with people who they should be against, and they don't have a problem with it because they're just filling in whatever role that they need to play for that stage play. Hey, the guy who made it agreed with the theory. He's like, oh yeah, we always thought of Mario Brothers 3 as a stage play. So, hey, they're actors. It's not a plumber. Well, he was a plumber in that game because he had to be a plumber. It's like American Horror Story, how same people, different roles.
Different roles.
Yep.
So what would you say his role is inside the new Mario Odyssey game that's coming out?
He's the villain. He's a shape-shifting villain.
Who's trying to stop a wedding, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You got it.
I don't know if I can agree that Mario's...
It's like Wedding Crashes. It's like Wedding Crashes 2017.
Moving on. That one right there. No. Apparently China has banned all ICO and digital currencies, which of course include cryptocurrencies. Essentially what they're saying is that it is a legal form of money trading. So yeah, sucks for everyone that was in China that was like going heavy with bitcoins and stuff like that.
I'm stopping that shit. People aren't supposed to be on the internet in China. They are on the internet, so. Great Firewall of China.
Great Firewall of China. I feel bad for them. Like almost every week, something worse is happening.
I mean, America's Trump, so.
Talking about Walking Dead. Really, really heavy segue there. Apparently, The Walking Dead is getting its own augmented reality game. I don't quite see how this is going to work out so well. Like, the trailer video for it, it It's really, really like interactive, but I don't see myself going through all that. Like, not in public.
Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna work. It's not. If they do this tower defense game, then yeah. If they don't, then oh well. And they don't look like they're doing this tower defense, so
No.
tower defense is their only hope. Literally their only hope. There are only so many types of games that you can do with AR currently that won't. Because the big problem is you're in public, so you can't do that much. It's not like VR where you can spin around in your house as much as you like. It don't matter because you're in your house. But if you're out in public, then you also have to factor in the fact that there's certain places you can't go. There's certain things you can't do while out in public. And as we found out with Pokemon Go, because Pokemon Go had a big issue with that. People trespassing, people doing all type of stuff because there's like a Pikachu. So it's just gonna be one. Like I don't see how they're gonna do it. To be honest, I think it's gonna be a flop.
Same here.
Yeah. You were gonna say something more, Vicky?
Oh no, I think it's gonna be like a major flop.
As much as I hate to say it, I really do agree. Like, yeah, they've got the in-game characters as well, but like, when you're being swarmed by people, what are you gonna do? Start spinning around in a circle, like in the middle of a food store? No.
I think they should just stick with the games that they have now and call it a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, our last set of topics is Apple-based. Now,
Yay!
of course, Vicky would be the person that says that. There was a leaked video, quote-unquote leaked video, that shows what may be a working iPhone for the first time this week. Now, pretty much what it does is it's apparently in Chinese, it seems so. And it just gives you an idea of what the overall layout of it is from the front face of it. You could of course see the cutaway at the top. You can see how things look on the home screen, and then they go into what looks like the settings area. But at least it actually shows something is working. I don't know if that was Windows, iOS 11, or if that was iOS 10, especially considering that iOS 11 beta 10 just also came out this week. Am I correct with that, Vicky?
Yep. It's the largest one of betas for iOS in Apple history.
So at this point, and you know, because apparently the Pixel 2, I think they were saying, may not come with Oreo at launch. Maybe the iPhone 8 also won't come with iOS 11 at launch. And by the time people actually get the devices, those operating system versions will be out and ready for an update. That's my theory on it.
I'm still expecting the iPhone 8 /Pro /Edition, whatever they're gonna call it. I'm still expecting it to be released like a few months later than the original 7S model, well 7S 7 Plus model, 7S Plus models. But that's just me. I feel like it's going to be released like maybe a month or so later. The phones are going to be released in September. I think I feel like the 8 is going to be released in October, but I could be wrong. It would be the smart thing to do, but I could be wrong.
You have any thoughts, Chris?
I mean, I don't see the logic in, it being delayed. Even if you would download an update over the air, as far as I'm concerned, it's still going to be iOS 8. And they're probably just going to build it right into the setup for it. They're going to tell you, hey, you need an internet connection, which most phones have. Most phones have data. Most phones have an internet connection. They're just going to tell you, hey, connect to Wi-Fi and to finish the setup. And people do it. And people won't complain. So, and if they do it later, then they'll just say, hey, just know that you want certain features until you do it later. So, Like no, like they won't complain. I mean, they didn't complain about the headphone jack, so they're not going to complain about that. So.
They gave us solutions. In fact, they gave us about 3 solutions for headphone jack.
No, they didn't.
No,
Yes, they did.
No,
You
they didn't.
either bought the AirPods,
No, they didn't.
you either use the Lightning to 3.5.
No, that's not a solution. That's not a solution.
Yes,
That's not a
they are.
solution.
How are you gonna?
That's a Jimmy.
Exactly.
That's what that
Exactly.
is.
You cannot charge
Jimmy
your
rig.
phone while you're listening to music.
When you could have before.
But you can if you use the wireless headphones.
Why would I use that? Like,
Wireless
then that's
headphones
another
is-
thing that I gotta charge.
Exactly. It's
So
not.
like
A,
the battery life lasts longer.
it's not a.
Bluetooth kills your battery life faster.
I mean, but my Bluetooth's always on. See, it's all on non-Apple users.
And you have
It's
to
so
plug your
easy,
phone
just
in by
like-
12, right?
It's used so easily. It's because I'm always on my phone, but it's so easy to like airdrop things when your Bluetooths are always on.
You notice how she kind of avoided that, right?
I said because I'm like constantly on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's also because Bluetooth is on and it's eating away at your battery life.
Yeah.
I don't like for me. I haven't really see like probably because I've constantly kept my Bluetooth on since I got my watch. I don't really see like the battery decline like so rapidly since I've had my watch.
You have to charge your phone at 12 p.m. I don't have to do that. Ever.
Yeah,
I can go a
I
whole day
unplug my phone at,
without
like,
ever
6 o'clock in the
charging my
morning.
phone. Like my phone
I
can be
unplugged
perfectly
my
fine.
phone I unplugged my phone 6 o'clock in the morning. So like I'm expecting by like 12 o'clock if I'm using it constantly during like throughout the day. I'm expecting to like
I can
plug
do
it in.
that, and I can expect to plug it in again before I go to bed at night. And not out of necessity, but just out of because I want to be topped off completely in the next morning. Like I'll probably be at maybe 30-40%.
Oh, I usually run my phone to like maybe 20, and I usually run it until like the low battery mode pop up.
I don't think my phone
Yeah,
really
see,
goes
like,
between.
I don't. It doesn't
below
get there
40.
for me. Like it doesn't like all day use, like all day, and it doesn't get there for me at all. Like after all day of using it, from the morning straight till night, and I haven't charged at all, and I'm using it consistently all day. I don't have to charge.
Well, the iPhone 8 is expected to like have like L-shaped battery, so that's also
That's
a fix to
nice.
that problem right
That's
there
nice.
as well.
So, we'll see. They
Take
always
the
saying that every year they come out and they say better battery life, better battery life, better battery life, and the first people I see anytime looking for outlet or looking for a charger is always iPhone users. Has been consistently since the first iPhone. Always has been the case, and it's never changed, despite the fact that Apple has always consistently said better battery life, better battery life, better battery life. They pull in the wool over your eyes and y'all just let them do it. No, we'll see. The V30 already killing the battery life comp, like they already beating the Pixel in battery life, and I just told you I can last a whole day, and they're beating the Pixel in terms of battery life.
I mean, if it's gonna be, if it, because you gotta realize that we're on a totally different scale. If it's gonna beat the iPhone scale
You're right.
now,
You're on a
bigger
totally
L-shaped
different scale
battery,
because you're not on the scale at all. Like we lasted all day. Y'all lasted half a day. What is that? That's ridiculous. And y'all are perfectly fine with that. Like that's crazy. Like I don't understand why you guys are perfectly fine with that. And that's why I said like there's an issue with like you guys are messed up.
The only thing that dies really fast for me is my phone. My iPad, I could charge that to 100% Monday, and I wouldn't charge it again like maybe Sunday. But then again, I rarely use my iPad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see the size of the iPad though?
Yeah.
It's a tablet.
Yeah.
We're talking about phones here. Like that is like a fifth or a tenth of the size.
Yes, and I have a bigger battery. So therefore, my point is still given that with the new L-shaped bigger battery that the iPhone 8 is going to have, it may have a stronger charge. Oh,
Hold on. So what? You guys gonna finally have like a 3,000 milliamp battery?
Instead of having to charge at 12 p.m., she'll have to charge at 1 p.m.
yeah, maybe
Maybe
1:30 or so, depending on how I use my phone.
Wow, a whole hour. Oh man, this is riveting. This is innovation. When other phones have been surviving, can survive an entire day.
Or if I put my phone in low power mode, it would last longer.
You actually have to do that?
I mean, like I've seen I've seen a lot of iPhone users where like their phone live in low power mode.
Y'all live some sad lives, but anyway.
I'm okay with it though.
Y'all okay with sad life? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with my sad life.
Last up on the list is that Apple apparently has signed an agreement. Sorry, actually not last on the list, but both are music related. Apple has ended its annual music festival, which has gone on for the past 10 years, and it's focusing on individual events instead. Now, Vicky, have you ever really been interested in these Apple events?
Yes, I have been. But sad that it's going to be ended, so I'm not going to be able to go.
And lastly, apparently they have reached agreement with Warner Music for new cheaper Apple Music deals. Talks between Apple and the music industry are seldom and pretty much seldom, as those including most other music services, while YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, and other services allow people to listen to music for free. Apple only sells on a paid on-demand service. Warner Music Group is the first major music company to reach new long-term deals with all three of the biggest players in music. YouTube and Spotify, Universal, and Sony have agreements with Spotify, but have yet to sign new deals with YouTube and Apple. Warner hired former Sony executive to oversee the digital business last November. So that might be some good news on Apple's front, at least for the music section.
Yeah, I mean, they're not doing bad in music, so I mean, anything right now is alright. I mean, they're doing good with music. I think right now iTunes is the most stable thing. People are buying music through there, and like people have no problems buying music through iTunes. Like everyone's like, oh, here's iTunes link for my music, for my album download. So I mean, they're in a good position, so it doesn't really matter for them.
And they've been around for a hell of a long time.
Yeah, so it's really just a matter of time, to be honest.
But that's going to wrap up this week's episode of Tech Talk. I'd like to thank my guests for coming on the show and talking this week. And I'd like to thank my followers and my hosts from Hosted Radio. For those watching, the shows are Esports Wrap on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. and Thursdays for Tech Talk at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for both of them. I did get quite a number of followers. Lady at Large, Malajana, Wireframe Mattress, Zatra Hazy, Devlin Love, Avery Deadhorse, The Joker, a lot of numbers. Dashalash Basani, Roblox Games, YT, Pepsi Sniffer, Conbon 43. Yeah, I don't know. Chinny Angel Nikki, Jamie AF, and Mega Blocks. Damn, Daniel. Thank you all for following.
Daniel.
Thank you all for following.
Damn, Daniel.
Until next week. Take care.